What is going on, guys? We are the Little Kings. My name is Ryan, aka No Mercy Merc.
And my name's also Ryan, aka Penguin Monster. On this episode of the Little Kings podcast, we talk about Horizon Zero Dawn and porting games to other platforms. You've got some hobbies, right? Do you share them with the fam? Dr. Disrespect is back. He streamed to over 500,000 viewers on YouTube. Holy crap. And general monetization in the world of streaming and gaming.
Well, let's get into it. All right, so I saw you streaming this weekend.
I did do that.
I saw that you were playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
I sure was.
Which came out 3 days ago since recording, or as we're recording this, August 7th. 10th. Well, no. Today's August 10th. It came out August 7th.
I got you.
All right, okay. Cool. Cleared it up. I wanted to get your opinions on not just the game, but the state of video game companies porting games from consoles to PCs. Like sometimes they're not super flawless. Like they definitely, it's totally different between just porting a game and totally optimizing a game for PC. So I wanted to get your input on how that one played and your opinions in general.
Sure.
On the topic.
So I did see some rumblings that there were some people dissatisfied with the port. So that might be part of the reason why you're bringing it up. I guess let's talk specifically about Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we can get more generalized. So I first started playing it on stream, which I don't feel like is a very fair test because your computer is, using graphically intensive resources outside of just the game itself. However, the first few minutes of the stream were very, very bad. Dropped frames all over the place. It really seemed to only be the beginning cutscene. I think that was because I wasn't able to change any of the graphics settings, and for whatever reason, even though it was just a cutscene, seemed like once I was able to go in, I turned off motion blur. I think I might have put the quality presets down a notch. After that, it ran flawlessly. It looked totally fine. On my screen, the whole time it was beautiful. I only dropped frames on the stream itself. And really, I have had no performance issues. The game didn't crash while I was playing it. I think I've only played about 2.5 hours, so that's a big caveat, obviously. But while I was playing it, no drop frames while on the gaming screen, no crashes. And one of the things I thought about it was that the game is absolutely gorgeous. Even on lower graphic settings, the lighting and just like the mountain ranges and different times of day and that kind of stuff, I thought looked fantastic. So I personally...
As another caveat, did you play it on PlayStation? Do you have a comparison, or this is like your first? Okay.
This is my first run, no matter what. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that.
Yeah. So,
but as you were saying,
so I don't know what it looked like on PS4, but just going in as a new game, I think it looked fine. I do think maybe the price was a little bit high because it is a fairly old game at this point. I know it's just coming to PC. I do understand we get some DLC that came out with it for free because it is a complete edition, but it's still $50 at a time where I think the game is, 4 or 5 years old at this point. We could look that up for sure, but we're not going to. But yeah, it seems a bit steep. However, I do think there's tons of content with it. I've heard it's at least 40 hours to finish the game.
Okay, because I remember when I first got my PlayStation, I was super excited. I was in that phase of like, I just want all the games.
Yeah.
All the games that I could possibly play on this thing I want.
Right.
And I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for $12.
Really?
For PlayStation. Yeah, it was from GameStop. It wasn't used. It was brand new.
Wow.
$12. And I never put it in the machine, but that's another thing to talk about if we want to get into that, because I have so many unopened
You know how many games in my Steam library from summer sales I have? It's nuts.
I I added a little point reward thing in my Twitch chat
Uh-huh.
to I'll do a random number generator to pick any Steam game that I just randomly play that day. I
Oh,
had to
that's a
type
good
all of them
idea.
out. I typed all of them out and put numbers next to them so I wouldn't have to count
Right.
and know what random number to go to and stuff.
So how many?
213 games.
No way.
I swear to you. My one thing that I need to add is I do Humble Bundle. So
Okay.
I have the monthly subscription, so I get like 10 games a month. And I have since I owned a PC.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Hold on, we got to talk about that for a second. They have a monthly subscription?
Yes. So you pay, I think now it's like 12 to $15 a month or something like that. You have no idea what games you're going to get.
So it's almost like does Xbox has like the games with gold, and PlayStation has PlayStation Plus, I think, games. It's similar to that.
Yeah, similar to that.
Okay.
Where but you're getting, I think it's
Many
8
games.
to 10 games.
Wow.
It's usually valued over $300. Like that's their like typical thing.
Now,
and like I've gotten good stuff.
Okay, so I was going to say the next thing I got to ask is, out of those 8 to 10 games, what's the percentage that you actually end up playing?
Not a ton, but there are some. Like there was one month that had the Spyro trilogy. Super excited about that. The Crash Bandicoot remaster was in there. Like they have good stuff, but it's never like mainstream stuff. Or if it is, it's like 3-year-old mainstream.
Sure.
Yeah. But I get a kick out of it. You also get like they'll throw indie games in there sometimes too that look super cool. So
I love a good indie game.
Yeah. If you're exploring different games and you think you'd actually play them, I think Humble Bundle is one way to go for that.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 70s when it comes to Steam games. So I'm way below your level.
Yeah, don't sign up for Humble Bundle. Fill up so fast.
I don't plan to anytime soon. But yeah, I've been spending too much money on Valorant skins. We've talked about that. Yeah. But ports in general, I think, getting back to your original point. So, excuse me.
Let me clear my throat. Copyright. Sorry.
Shoot. You sang it so well, we're going to get a claim now. So ports in general, I get why they don't fully optimize a game as if it's being completely re-released on a platform. It's a lot less work, I believe. I don't really know the technical aspects behind it. But I think it's nice that we do eventually get the games to new platforms, so I'm happy about that. I'm just not happy with the cost of Horizon Zero Dawn. If it was $30 maybe, half price of a full game.
I'm with you. I did not expect it to be $50.
Yeah.
Like I also don't know what's involved in a port, but it seems like it might be a fairly easy thing compared to fully optimizing it, or else, everyone would fully optimize it. So it has to be somewhat easier.
Sure.
To opt for a port instead. But
and like, I think the whole reason they're kind of doing this is that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to come out on PC day one. So I think they're trying to get the PC audience to come over and kind of understand the world and get a taste of it so that they buy it day one on PC. But in that case, why don't you just make it $30 or less so that more people buy it and get introduced to this world for this game that you made years ago? And then they'll be like, oh, I really liked the first one. Let me pay full price for game 2 now that it's out on PC.
Yeah. We can talk about that all day with the free Halo Infinite too. Is like the supply demand charts all come into play here when you're talking about the price of games and barriers of entry and stuff. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
One thing was, you had mentioned before, I'd seen reports that like ultra high settings for Horizon Zero Dawn were like really falling short.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because like one, you're thinking like you look at the graphics and like it doesn't seem like it's super graphically intensive when you're comparing it to like a different game. I just think of Assassin's Creed because I pull those kind of together
Sure. Yeah.
in a
Similar
way where it's a
elements.
little more open world. It's, you know, you got the HUD, you got the sneaking around aspect.
Yeah.
Um, and like there were people who were having a hard time reaching 70 frames per second on ultra settings with like the most beefy machine.
Yeah. I did see that it ran inefficient in
Yeah.
terms of it, even if you had good hardware, it didn't seem to have the right throughput. But I will say, even on lower settings, because that's what I definitely had to do with streaming and everything. I was impressed. I thought the lighting and particles and stuff looked good. I
Hmm.
thought I didn't think, oh wow, this is definitely a 4 to 5 year old game. It was like, oh, this looks pretty good right now. And you know, say what you will about the price, that to me is a whole separate aspect. The game is fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have thoroughly enjoyed the first few hours, and I've heard that the story, so that the initial stuff that kind of brings you in, right? At least for me, it's I see the cover art, I see a hot redhead, which my wife's redhead, so that instantly draws me in. Who's got a bow and arrow shooting at a giant mech dinosaur. So like that concept just already has me. That's one. Two, you start the game. There's a little bit of cool story, but really you notice scenery and graphics, which I think are pretty good. And then you start battling these mechs, and it is so satisfying. Do you ever play Batman Arkham Asylum?
No.
Oh man. So that game is, I think, one of the original games to really just get a punch right. Just
Hmm.
when you're hitting someone, the sound and vibration that comes from that, they just really spent time on and perfected. And this game has an aspect of that. Like I felt like when I was hitting folks with my staff that it really felt good. And then you have the aspects of the bow. And there's like already I've unlocked ways to have like electrical lines that you shoot from one area of the map to the other. So that if you draw
Mm.
people over to you and they sprint at you, they'll like get caught up in the lines and fall over, and then you've got better shots on them and stuff.
Hmm.
And it's just so much fun to do combat. And then I heard mid to late game, the story is what keeps you going. So
Hmm.
like that's just all. I know you're not a big single player game guy,
Yeah.
but all those aspects on top of each other just makes me feel like I'm gonna really like this game.
Okay. All right. Fair.
So it's ran okay for me. I understand people have problems, and that sucks. But so far, my experience has been good.
So you talking about the like feeling and action
Yeah.
is like it brings me directly to the game God of War. Have you
Oh
ever played?
yeah.
I watched like a
Oh.
20-minute video of their dev team talking about literally all the time and money they spent on like the feel of him throwing his axe and catching it back is
It's
like
not so much the throw, it's the
it's the
return. It's the
yeah,
oh
it's Thor's hammer.
it
Like it's
it is.
oh,
Yeah.
it's just attracted to you. It's okay.
And
We
that's, we talked about Halo, the graphics maybe not being up to par, and I had said graphics are definitely important, don't get me wrong, but the gameplay aspects and how it feels when you're playing it to me is more important. And
Mhm.
just us talking about like the only aspects of now the Batman game and God of War that we talked about was just the feeling of combat. And
Yeah.
that's not anything really visual that has nothing to do with the story. It's just the gameplay feel. So that goes to show
Mhm.
how important that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, we've talked about more games in this podcast already than any other podcast, and they're the
Yes.
most like they're the most far out games.
Yes.
This is awesome.
We're gamers.
We're gamers.
I mean, I have another game that I have now become obsessed with since
Oh
the beginning of
God.
last week.
Okay, let's hear it.
Fall Guys.
Ball guys.
Fall Guys. It's so good. I I don't know why you're hesitant. So Christina, my wife, and I literally we played it after we had dinner tonight. She was like, I have to stop playing this game. I'm going to be too upset before I go to bed because I get so frustrated when I lose. And she's not a
Oh my
gamer at
God.
all. So just like that aspect to me shows that they got something right. And it's like, I get that the graphics are kind of kiddie, but in a way that, opens it up to more players. And really you want more and more players for a battle royale because you want to be able to search and just find a game instantly. So quick description. It's these basically cute jelly bean looking characters that compete in, I would say, you ever seen the show Wipeout? Wipeout style obstacle courses. And it's a battle royale. So it's out of 60 players. And there's solo based games and team based games. And there's rounds. So people get eliminated each round. And you just try to win. And it's so much fun.
So I don't know if you had this during your childhood, but I had these things called like bouncing beans or these they're like collectible little beans that all looked like little characters.
I think I do remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
They would like just go like back and forth. That's
They all had
I
different
can think of.
costumes.
Yes. And there was like collectors packs of like, can you collect them all? And
I don't remember what they're
reminds
called,
me of
but I
that
get it.
so much. It's like bouncing beans or bubbling bean. I don't even want to look it up.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be on my.
I get what
search
you're
history.
saying. It does. It looks totally like that. And they're going to come out with all kinds of different customizations for these beans. I mean, they've got a wolf costume, a pigeon costume. You can be what looks like a soft drink. You can be a hot dog. Like you can be a cheeseburger. There's all different kinds.
One thing I do like is that they seem like short games. Like they're relatively
They're quick.
short.
They're
5 to 10 minutes, probably.
I would say, I mean, it depends how many rounds you last, right? If you
Yeah,
get out in
true,
the
true.
first round, if you don't qualify, it's 2 minutes. And then if you go all the way, 10 to 15.
Okay. Like compared to other battle royales nowadays, like I feel like
it's way
that's
shorter. It's in and out. It's definitely a low barrier to entry in terms of a battle royale. And that's
Cool.
kind of what I like about it.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but it's free on PlayStation right now,
Right?
and it's $20 to $30 depending on what pack you get on PC.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the collector's edition is, but that's the $30 one. It's probably just you unlock more skins natively instead of having to work your way up for them.
Got it.
I could be wrong though.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, that's my only hesitation is the $20 to $30 on PC. I don't know.
I think it's absolutely worth $20. I played it, so I downloaded because we have a PlayStation. So I downloaded on PlayStation first. I played it with Christina in the living room, and then last night, as I was done with a big mission in Horizon Zero Dawn, I was like, I don't really feel like getting off yet. Let me play 3 games of Fall Guys. So I downloaded it on stream. It took less than a minute to download because it's such a small game, and I have good internet. Flex.
I hate you. Yep. Cool.
And it's so much fun to play. Like it's just in and out, like a few rounds, you're good to go. And they're going to keep releasing more and more maps. So I feel like it'll be a game that kind of stays for a while as long as they do a good job with it.
Is it crossplay?
It's not crossplay right now.
Okay.
That's what I understand.
But they're working on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have one gripe.
Okay.
So, all right, maybe 2 gripes. All right. So one is I think there are certain game modes that don't really display skill so much as just dumb luck. There's certain rounds where one of the characters will have a tail and you have to go grab them and you have to be the last one with the tail, right? So it's 15 different people. You're just all running around. If you say it's 2 minutes, I don't remember. It might be 90 seconds. If you have the tail for 89 of those 90 seconds, it doesn't matter. It's the last one to have the tail at the end. So it could just be like a lucky grab. And it's like you could go back and forth on whether that's a good style of game or not. So I'm less interested in that rant. The biggest gripe I have are team-based games. When I'm in a battle royale and it's solo results, okay? I understand if you hop into Warzone and you're a stack of 4, you live and die with your team. But there's solo results. There's a solo chart at the end that shows who wins. I want to be in control of my own destiny. You get put into games that are team-based games. If your team sucks, you're out. You're never going to qualify for the next round. The last round is not like that. And I don't mind having team-based games in it, but give me a separate game mode that is only solo. And I can only play solo games because I would play that much more than the team-based games because I can't tell you how many times I'll get down to like the last 15 and then we'll get split up into teams and then I'm out. And it's like I made all this progress throughout those rounds and now because I have a terrible team, or maybe it's even my fault during the team, I don't want to bring the other people down either. Just give me a solo queue to go into. Keep the team-based games if you want, but I just want to be in control of my own destiny.
I understand that.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have 2 different options, like all solo, potential squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd work. That'd be easy. Simple fix.
I think so. I think that's
Limit
something
maps.
they could definitely develop easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my Fall Guys rant so far.
All right.
But other than that,
All
I
right.
love the game. It's fun.
I think you've convinced me.
Look at that. I'm always getting you to spend more money.
There it is. I think I'm going to hold off on Horizon Zero Dawn, though. I think that's where my money pool is going to come from for Fall Guys.
That's fair.
Is like, I'm going to wait for a really good discount on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
To pick it up.
I mean, I think $50 is steep for that game. But I have been having fun with it, but I understand not spending it there. Definitely, I would say spend the money, the $20 on Fall Guys. I don't know how long it'll stick around, but right now it's really fun, and it'd be fun to play on stream together.
All right. So do you think Fall Guys will ever have an esports
No.
area to it?
No.
All right. That's fair. So speaking of esports,
What a transition.
so I saw a post about Hiko's mom. So Hiko, for people who don't know, is a pro Valorant player for 100 Thieves.
Former
Ryan?
CSGO pro.
Yeah, Ryan happens to be a fanboy of 100 Thieves. I don't know if he wanted to admit that, but it's now out in the open. So there happens.
Listen, you could send me the no camping merch. Let's do it. I'll say I'm a fanboy on this podcast. Send me some merch. I fucking tried to buy that in 3 minutes. It was gone. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you texted me instead. You said buying some 100 Thieves merch. Nope, never mind. Sold out. Shouldn't have texted me.
No.
So apparently Hiko's team for Valorant has not been doing very good. And there was a big controversy when the team was first created that like Hiko had really no say in his teammates. They just picked 4 CSGO pros or former CSGO pros or something, or Overwatch or some other.
Yeah, so
pros.
my understanding, and it's hard to know because you don't see any of the behind the scenes thing. This is kind of all speculation. It seemed to me that when Hiko was brought on and signed to 100 Thieves, it was with an understanding that he would act as kind of a captain for the team. And I don't think it's traditional at all for players that are signed to a team to have any say in other players that are signed to a team. But with how they started originally, it did seem like he'd at least be able to have some input. And then basically, based on the players who signed, they were Overwatch players. Hiko's got the CSGO background, and he thinks the tactical shooter background, I think, is very important. The folks signed were Overwatch players. Obviously, that's not a tactical shooter that's the same as Valorant. It does have a lot of similarities besides that to Valorant, so I understand there can be some great Overwatch players at Valorant for sure. But it just seemed like he had a lot less input that was originally led on by 100 Thieves.
Got it.
But it's speculation.
So Hiko's mom had something to say about it.
Oh boy, what'd she say?
So she apparently tweeted after Hiko said, "Okay, good game. We lost 2-0. On to our next games. Here we go."
Right.
His mom underneath his tweet goes basically like, "Look, Hiko, you can only do as well as your team can do. I think 100 Thieves needs to look at a roster change."
Ooh. Hiko's mom calling them out.
And I'm like, my mom would do that. Like that would be my mom too.
Yeah.
Like speaking the true words.
Well, I watched a whole YouTube video on the background of Hiko. It was great. They have a whole esports series where they really dive in documentary style. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but we'll definitely link it below, or in the notes if you're on a audio podcast. But his mom has always been super involved in his career to the point where she actually has been an active mod in his streams. And
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know.
Which I thought was super cool. Yeah, she will watch his streams while she's at work. I can't remember what she said. She might be a lawyer or something, but she'll have it on kind of in the background. And he said that she's been known to ban people if they've been mean to Hiko.
What a mom.
It's great. It's great. So she really, I think she really gets the space more than any kind of traditional mom. And so that coming from her, I think holds even more weight.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't know. 100 Thieves, I am a fanboy, but I also like my man Hiko. Hopefully you guys can work that out. Win some games.
Yeah, just win some games. Like
It's not that hard.
Better. Like, is it that hard? Speaking of moms, my mom asked for my YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
And I said absolutely not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. This is my thing. Like, I haven't shared this on Facebook. I haven't shared this with any of like my personal friends besides like people I'm doing it with, like you and like the Bays, our closest friends. But
yeah,
literally, like some of my best friends from college don't know what I do.
Gotcha.
And I like it that way.
Yeah, I totally get that. I actually had a very embarrassing moment at a dinner this past Sunday where my mom, I just told her that I streamed. I haven't sent her any links or anything like that. But basically there were some cousins that were over. It was celebrating my sister's confirmation. This is way too detailed. But basically there was people over in my family that, I interact with, but we're not super close. And she was like, "Oh, Ryan, tell them about the video game streaming you do."
No.
I was like, "Mom, why?" So, for somebody that's not in that space at all, it's very hard to explain, and it sounds very lame.
It does.
But actually, I was surprised. So our cousin, she is a mom of some younger kids, and she was like, "Oh, you mean like Ninja?" And I was like, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly like Ninja. And she's like, oh, one of this kid, I'm not going to say his name's friends, apparently was in a game with Ninja and killed him in Fortnite. And it was like this huge deal. And I was like, oh, that would be a big deal. So I mean, it's getting mainstream enough, at least if you have kids, I guess, that people know about it. But yeah, a very embarrassing moment.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it is one of those like hobbies slash professions that people just can't. They have a hard time taking it seriously,
Definitely.
even though like it's blood, sweat, and tears. Like again, people don't see what's behind the scenes, like
Right.
how much truly goes on to
Absolutely.
like set up this flawless broadcast that is like should be a team of like 10 producing. Like
Right.
it's just you.
For sure. Yeah. And I think the only thing that I've found success with making others kind of believe it's a legit thing is showing them just numbers on how much money esports and gaming entertainment makes. Because you can't deny that.
It was like I saw a stat like 3 years ago that was like it literally said more people watch video games than play video games.
Oh, I
And
would.
it was by like a big margin too. It was like a lot more people are completely content watching someone else play than play it themselves, which
Yeah.
like blew my mind at the time.
I've never understood why that's a foreign concept to some people that you would watch another person play a game, because I grew up with traditional sports and that's literally what you do. Only the best of the best make it to the NFL, the MLB, any of these traditional sport professional leagues.
Mhm.
And there's millions of people that watch them and it's a completely normal thing. So you don't really think about it, but you're watching another person play a game that you could play. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody's throwing the football around. Everybody's, well, maybe not everybody, but like generally you would have played that when you were a kid or something like that. And so you want to watch the best of the best play that thing. So of course, esports, you want to watch the best of the best play that game or play it in an entertaining way if you're not talking about straight competitive esports.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about Mizkif then. What the hell's he doing? No, no, I think it's a perfect like comparison of like watching a pro sport when you could literally get your ass up and go do the same thing, just not at that skill level.
Right. Exactly.
Um, yeah, yeah, perfect analogy to use now
And
that I fully understand it.
yeah, and professional sports have taken notice in esports. And
Hmm.
there's some of the biggest investments in esports have come from basketball teams or football teams or those types of places, because I think they understand the space a bit in terms of competitive nature and franchises and all that type of stuff. And they also see that has a much higher growth potential than the traditional sport that they're in now.
Hmm.
The traditional sport they're in now, yes, tons of revenue, does really well, but there's not really anything new. It's kind of, you'll get younger people who get more into it and things like that, but there's not like this whole new market share that you can take, whereas esports is still definitely growing. And
Hmm.
also, the time that we're in now, with everybody needing to stay at home, esports has not been hit much at all.
Hmm.
Whereas traditional sports, they've had a hell of a time trying to have their games played.
That's what I was gonna say. They can survive a pandemic.
Don't want to get demonetized.
We can say pandemic. I think we can. We can.
So, you know what you need for a pandemic?
Tell me, Ryan,
You need a doctor.
a doctor. Tell me more about said doctors. Or is there one in particular that you recommend?
There
Or
might
go
be
to?
one in particular that's not really a doctor, but he goes by
Phil?
Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend, the 2-time.
Yeah, so we did a Just Chatting stream together this week where we talked in length about Doc, but I felt like we had to bring it up in the podcast. I'm actually shocked we are now 30 plus minutes in and we haven't mentioned it yet. But Dr. Disrespect, I don't know if you want to give kind of a rundown of the timeline or if you'd like me to, just kind of a general background, and then we'll say what we think about it.
You do it. I was working. You were there live.
Okay. Let's see if I can try to remember the series of events. So first thing that happens, I pull up Instagram on my phone and I follow Dr. Disrespect. There is a live icon for Dr. Disrespect. This was after all we have ever heard was, hey, Champions Club tweet saying, I don't know what's going on. So Instagram Live pops up. What the hell is this? Click on it. It's like some strange background. I think it's actually his computer. And then it's got the classic like reddish, blackish color hue that Dr. Disrespect's got going on. There's the 80s rock music background that you've come to expect from Dr. Disrespect. And there's these like one-liners from a radio host, and they're funny. Kind of roasting different streamers, different people in the space, you know, kind of making fun of the space itself. And then it says, Dr. Disrespect will be dropping a video and could be going live as soon as today. Whoa!
What?
So after weeks of hearing nothing, yeah. So the video drops. You saw the video. The video was hilarious, in my opinion.
Awful in mine, but okay.
So, yeah, it was a music video. It was so overly done that I thought it was funny. But if you took it completely seriously, then it was just awful. The singing, he's trying to make some kind of music career as well, I think. And he needs a little bit more tuning, in my opinion.
Fair.
But so that kind of dropped, kind of gets up some hype for what's going on. Then YouTube. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but we don't need to go into all the details. He's going to go live on YouTube. All it is when he goes live is a gas station. It's basically a GIF. A gas station with the classic, I think it's a Lamborghini, red car, Dr. Disrespect logo on the gas station, city background. It looks cool, but it's not Doc. He's not live yet, truly. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a test the waters type of thing, and I think build up hype. And when I was watching that, the peak concurrent viewers was around 320,000. which just, for a gas station with these one-liners from a radio host and music, I get it. Like, everybody's wondering what's happening with Doc. Just insane numbers. So that happens. That stays on for, I think, 24 hours, however long.
Yeah.
We get a tweet that says something along the lines of Champions Club, we go live tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That stays up until and leads to the actual stream, which is the return of Dr. Disrespect. Now, were you able to catch this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I've been talking a lot. Why don't you take over at this point?
All right, take your sip of water if you need a refresh. Go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So finally, it's like an hour beforehand. We get a countdown clock to the left on top of this GIF. And the thing is, like, this wasn't just like placed there. Like this wasn't just a slap on thing. You could see the reflection of the literal timer in the puddles on the gas station floor. This was prepared, baby.
The production value, and we'll get a little more into this, but
God.
you gotta admire it.
Oh my gosh. Because it could have been so easy to just slap it on there, whatever, go on your day, hour countdown, it slides off. No. This was all prepared. So finally Zero hits it, slides slowly off the screen, and then boom, like a 30-minute documentary like freaking starts where it is just Hype Nation for like it was probably 20, 25, 30 minutes before like we saw him live. Oh no. It started with him actually being like, I've never gone live on YouTube before.
It's
Like, am I
is
supposed
this
to
thing
plug
plugged
stuff
in? Yeah.
And then he like notices, like he fake notices the cameras on, and he's like, "Oh, we got to go to another screen." Like, and then starts so like in total doc fashion.
Yeah,
like,
and if you want to see that,
all
sorry, just real quick, if you want to see that montage, he came out with a YouTube video of his first stream, and the beginning of that video is the montage that he played, and it is awesome.
It's amazing, like what he's able to throw together with his team. If he does any of that himself, I am totally impressed by him. But I think he's got a big team behind him. But it's in true doc fashion, it was just production, high quality production for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Insane.
Incredible.
And then we finally sit down with him in his Lambo, whatever he's sitting in, and he's like, "Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back." And then like the number of people just kept climbing. Like I think I tuned in to like the 24-hour stagnant GIF thing at one point late after, and I was like, okay, it's sitting around 30,000.
Right.
After like 20 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Before we even know he's going live. What did we peak at? Like 511, 500 something?
It was
something
just
around?
north of 500,000, 500,000.
500,000
At the same time. Concurrent viewers.
Live. There, watching. Blows my mind. Like, is that a record? Is it?
I don't think it is.
Really?
I think there have been charity streams that have gone higher.
Okay.
But I would need to check my sources on that.
Okay. Well, this is for a non-charity.
For a non-charity normal streamer, I think it's got to be the top, if not one of the top.
And then so he does his normal doc thing. Like he's in the locker room, he's kicking shit around. Like he's like doing all his ninja karate stuff, going in all the rooms of the stadium or whatever he calls it, the dome. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not a loyal doc.
The arena.
The arena, yes. And then the most interesting point is he starts talking about thy ban. What everybody tuned in for.
Of course.
And he says he doesn't know. He said he still does not know to this day, but it was unwarranted, and let the lawyers take care of it. Like if I'm gonna condense it into a sentence, like that is it.
Yeah, and I am just how?
I don't know if you saw
him
at that exact instant. Slasher posted a rolling eyes emoji. The exact.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, instance. Why?
Because Slasher supposedly knows, correct?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he claimed. He claimed he knew.
And it was bad, is what he claimed.
He said it was too sensitive to discuss or to review.
I thought he had said that basically he wouldn't be streaming again.
Yeah. Yeah. So now
this is just, they could write a movie about this.
They could. I'm so excited. And I want Doc to play Doc.
Wait, so one of my favorite just comedic moments from the reveal of why he was banned was he starts talking about it and he's like, I want to be real with you. And he said, you know what? I want you to look me in the eyes. And he's got, the classic sunglasses, and he turns around, takes off the sunglasses, turns back around, and he's got another pair under them.
So was that him saying that he's not really being real? Because it's because
I think it was just a joke.
Previously, when he had that issue with his previous ban, he posted a video of him not disguised as Doc. And did a real heartfelt apology.
That was the beginning of his stream, actually. He went live without the Doc character, basically. It was just, I forget his actual name. But yeah, so I am just so curious as to what the actual state of things is. I mean, I would think we'd find out eventually. I'm sure YouTube is also interested, considering, yes, he's not signed to them. He doesn't have like an exclusive deal with them. However, he is drawing hundreds of thousands of eyes, millions overall, to YouTube. You'd think a big content creator like that, they'd want to make sure isn't too, I mean, they have plenty of controversial creators, but didn't do something as extreme as we may have thought, based on some of the things from Slasher and based on how quickly this went from Twitch.
But if their name's not on anything besides that's the platform he picked, if they aren't endorsing anything, I don't see.
Well, they've always shied away from super controversial content creators because of advertising. They don't want the people spending money on ads on their platform to feel uncomfortable.
I didn't think about that layer of all of it.
Yeah. So PewDiePie has had his own controversies in the past, and that was the whole adpocalypse, which is a whole other subject we could talk about, but they lost a lot of advertising revenue based on that, because companies who would just slap their ads on any kind of video started taking notice because it was this big public eye thing. So Doc is definitely not the level of PewDiePie on YouTube. But as one of the biggest live streamers, if they're trying to grow that brand, I could see them, having a watchful eye at least of Doc.
So I personally have YouTube Premium. So I didn't see an ad before watching his live stream. Did you, or does someone who didn't, could they have demonetized him to not push ads to his content? I feel like that probably would have talked about more, but
I'm sure they have the ability to, but I think they did run ads.
Okay.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I don't know if they do on live streaming at this point anyways or not.
I don't know.
No, that's an interesting take on the advertisements view of where their videos actually end up before.
Yeah. The other big piece of news that I think came from that, which interested me, was just a little tidbit that he put out there. But he said that he was starting a production company. And that basically him and his team, that's how he was going to expand beyond just the streamer himself. And that interests me like hell, because the production value of this stream really shows that streaming is in its infancy still. I mean, it has risen so much in terms of quality over the past 5+ years, for sure. I mean, people used to have terrible cameras, no overlays, no transitions, nothing like that. That basic level is now expected of most decent streamers. But Doc just takes it up a whole other notch. It is much more akin to, like we were talking about earlier, I think a traditional sports hype type of atmosphere. Whereas, yes, like Ninja will have a really cool intro and even has nice overlays and things like that. But I guess he's not putting on so much of a show. Whereas Doc, since he's in character and things like that, it really feels like more of a produced live show versus you watching a streamer. And so I think it'd be interesting to see where that production company goes for sure.
I'm interested. Piqued my interest.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't stay in long enough to catch that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
because
So,
I was like most everyone else. I heard the juicy tidbit about the ban and that he wasn't going to announce anything of it, and I dipped.
oh, I watched the whole stream. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! See, like I noticed people started dipping. Like it dropped down to 300 again pretty quickly after
Very
he
quickly.
stopped talking about the Twitch ban and he actually started talking about games and such. But
I do think he stayed over 200,000 the whole time. Which is, I think Ninja didn't even hit 200,000 when he streamed on YouTube, which I
no,
will
he was
say,
86.
did he, I will say there was not quite as much hype built around Ninja. So I kind of understand that. It's funny. It seems like in this space, controversy, as long as it's not career ending, only helps you.
Yep.
People come back with much higher numbers and just keep swinging.
Because I remember even after Doc's 14-day ban or whatever it was for the bathroom incident, he came back huge on Twitch.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah. And even with his self-imposed time away, I think he came back even bigger.
Yeah. Partial bans and breaks are not a bad thing, honestly. No. Pokey just took a month break, actually. A month hiatus.
Yeah, that's good to bring up. I think so. That was not an enforced ban; it was a personal choice. Yeah. But she did. I'm not as averse. I don't really watch Pokimane. I watch some of her YouTube videos occasionally, but I don't really watch her streams. But I did hear there were some kind of controversies. Not controversy, but she was getting a lot of flack for, I think, having a boyfriend. Like, I saw very small tidbits. Do you know what was going on? Or are we just kind of talking out of our asses here?
It was along the lines of she had a boyfriend for a while and never announced it, so people were up in arms that she hadn't publicly said it. When
why is that her job?
Information and because she's a public figure and she should release all that apparently to everyone else, not me. That is not my opinion. Don't clip that in any weird way. But no,
you could clip me right now. That is stupid.
Amen.
Get out of people's business. They don't owe you shit. It's great that they entertain you. It's great that they make you feel like part of a community. But when it comes to their personal life and their personal relationships, that is their own business and their own business alone. I don't care how famous they are. No. Stop it. You're being silly. That's childish. Clip it and ship it.
Clip it and ship it, boys. So yeah, she basically sent out a tweet. She said, you know what? During this whole quarantine thing, like I've been faking it pretty hard. Like I haven't really been enjoying it as much as I should be or feel like I should be. So like to like provide you guys better content potentially in a month or so, like when I'm in a better state, I'm taking a month hiatus. So
good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, that would be so rough to go through. You know, she's got now definitely like a privileged life that, I mean, she worked for, but she is, you know, well off. She could not do anything for the rest of her life and probably be fine. But yeah, your mental health is so important, and you know, that can get impacted no matter how much money you have. And if she was dealing with that kind of stuff, I don't blame her at all. Good for her.
Yep. I think it should be clear that like no matter how big or small of a streamer you are, you should put your mental health first.
Absolutely.
First and foremost. I don't care if you have that day scheduled. It's like take that day off if you need it. If your fans truly like enjoy your content, they'll understand. Like the people who don't understand, it's like that's who you have to question whether or not you want them as viewers anyways. If they
Right.
have a problem with you taking one day off,
Yeah. Agreed.
red flag. Red flag.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there was one thing that came of the whole doc aspect, which was you sent a tweet talking about the YouTube streaming experience. So I wanted
Oh my,
to, yeah, I wanted to go over that with you. I wanted to get your perspective, and then I had some thoughts as well.
literally, I couldn't watch the stream on my computer. Like I would get 5 seconds through the live video and it would just lag, but it would be like a frozen freeze frame for 10 seconds and then it would start back up, but it wouldn't be live again.
And
So like
did that
I
happen?
constantly got 10 seconds behind.
Right. And did that happen to you the whole time, or was there a certain amount of time that happened to you?
It happened like 10 times and I had to reload my YouTube page like probably 3 times to get caught back up to live. I gave up. I had to watch on my phone.
And it worked fine on your phone.
Yeah, it worked fine on my phone.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But like it was so bad.
So
Like so bad.
yeah, so I also watched on my computer. I had the same experience, but it was only at the very beginning of the stream when numbers were just skyrocketing. It did do the same thing where it kind of buffered and then you would be behind live. I think I had to hit the live button. I didn't have to fully refresh, but I'd hit the live button maybe 3 times and then it was perfect the rest of the stream.
I wish.
So I think some of that has to do with just the overall load that was coming from that many viewers at once. YouTube was probably not prepared for one. I guess. But also I think it had to do with internet strength. Because not to flex again, but I do have better internet strength than you. I bet that probably helped my computer overcome some of the issues that were happening there. Because, like I said, it did happen one time, but it was fine the whole rest of the stream.
So like I'm gonna knock YouTube because the same exact thing happened to me on Ninja's first stream too.
Oh,
Like
I had no issues with Ninja Stream.
I get again that is a big influx of people.
Right.
And so like okay, like that's forgivable. But like it's happened on other streams too on YouTube. And like I know you have like phenomenal internet. But like I have 400 megabits
Right.
per
So
second download. Like that's
right.
not low.
No, not at all. Yeah. And
Right.
so that's still a major problem because I was just going to say it hasn't happened to me any other time. But the vast majority of the population do not even have close to your internet speed. I think
True.
most folks would have less than 100 megs. So YouTube does need to fix their shit if it's the internet speed. Okay, what about outside of the lag moments? What do you think about?
Chat is hideous. The donations are weird. Like it doesn't seem centered around like streaming. Like and it makes me really mad that if you scroll down, it suggests YouTube videos.
Yeah.
To the right of your stream. And it's like, no, I don't want someone to watch my stream and be tempted to click on pre-made like high quality videos. Like I try to make my stream as high quality as possible. Don't get me wrong.
It's not
like,
going to be as good as edited content. That's just impossible.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, the coolest part of Doc's stream was the montage at the beginning, and that was edited content. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So, do you think some of that is because you're used to the UI on Twitch? Or do you think it truly is just not a great user experience?
I think it's just not a good user experience.
Okay.
Honestly, I
will say
their integration with their chat within the app, like their app integration is pretty dang good.
Yes, I agree.
I'll give them that, but PC, not great.
So I agree that it's definitely not as good as Twitch in terms of the live stream experience. I completely agree with you there. However, I I definitely have not watched as much Twitch as you have.
Mm.
I'm much more into live streaming now. I do watch. I have a pretty big follow list on Twitch and watch quite a bit of it now. However, I have watched YouTube videos for my entire life, basically. You know, when
Right.
YouTube started coming out. I even do not have cable. I just have internet. My main source of entertainment comes from a laptop that's hooked up to my TV in my living room. We go to different sites besides YouTube, of course, Netflix, you know, Hulu, all different types of things like that. But I really feel at home with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to it. And I gotta say, even though I did agree the chat was kind of a mess, when you watch a streamer like Doc, there's no point in chatting anyways to me. Like, it's moving so fast. I can't get any kind of interaction in there. I love watching smaller streamers on Twitch and chatting with the streamer themselves and also the people who are chatting in. That's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to that type of level, to me, there's no point in chatting in. It's cool to kind of see when people subscribe and stuff like that, but really you have the alerts that are overlaid onto the person's screen. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just forgot about chat, right?
Okay.
But again, I understand that's a big part of the streaming experience, especially for smaller streamers. I don't know. I'm so comfortable with YouTube. I liked having the YouTube layout, and it was good quality to me. And again, that could be because of my internet stream. But honestly, the quality of Ninja's stream and Doc's stream in terms of video quality seemed much better to me. It seemed
Hmm.
like it had a higher frame rate. I could play it at 1080p 60, I think, which I think Twitch does as well. But to me, it just looked really good, and I just felt comfortable. And honestly, I did then, after the stream was over, scroll down and I watched some of Doc's videos. And I think that's exactly what they want. I think
Mm-hmm.
they want to lead you from the live stream content over to this collection of videos that lives forever and can rack up views over and over again day after day.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that Twitch doesn't really have. Twitch has VODs, but VODs are not the same, like you said, as edited content.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's the strength to me. And if they just they definitely got to work on shit. Twitch is definitely better in terms of live stream experience, but I really think if they just nail down some more basic features, they can overtake Twitch.
You heard it here first. Clip it and ship that.
I don't think that's a new opinion at all. I think there's a lot of folks who think there's potential that YouTube can take over.
Right. But you said that very strongly. You got your strong opinion out there.
Yeah, and I'm saying this as a person who streams on Twitch. And I really like especially the smaller stream interaction. Now, it's very hard to grow on Twitch. I bet it would be just as hard to grow on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like for a smaller streamer, especially Twitch. But if you're at a certain level, I think YouTube might be the way to go.
I just can't get over the quality issues I've had with YouTube.
Again,
At this point.
right? Again, maybe I have just the best facing side of it because of my internet connection. But I just feel so comfortable there. It looked so good to me, and I was like, oh, I can just click on this and go watch a YouTube video. Like, it was like, you know, if on Twitch, if a stream stops and there's nobody else in my follow list that's live, I stay up late a lot of the time. So there's not always people live that I'm wanting to watch. Occasionally I'll browse for a new stream, but most of the time, what do I flip over to? YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to watch a stream on YouTube, it's very easy. Just go, you're right there.
So One thing I want to touch on first before I go on to like the next topic of YouTube
Sure.
is I think I texted you during Ninja's first stream and I was like, is it just me or does this look worse than Twitch? Whereas you were having the complete opposite and you were saying
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
looks
You had
better,
said that it looked worse.
better.
Yes.
And I was like, this looks like half the frame rate. This looks pixelated as hell. Like this doesn't look like Ninja.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it looked to me.
Right.
So like that's just my
And
one
that's a
takeaway.
problem, especially with
Oh yeah.
400 megs per second. I mean, that's not nothing. That's faster than most people.
We talk about barrier of entry a lot in this stream lately.
Yes.
And like if there's any small thing that like could hinder a viewer staying or hitting that follow button, that's an issue to any streamer, any size.
Then I got a
Anything.
big gripe with Twitch.
Oh boy. Okay. Dude, should I
Go ahead. We'll save
Okay.
it. Barrier. I'm gonna write it down. Barrier of entry. Go ahead.
Okay. My last point that I wanted to make is that on YouTube, do you know when you're streaming, if you have YouTube videos uploaded, will they recommend yours first, or will they still throw you to someone else?
I'm not sure.
Because that's my biggest thing is like, I don't want them pushing other streamers on the same screen as me, because that's a retention issue too.
Yeah,
I'm
like, totally with you on
anything.
that. I'm ignorant to. I don't know. I will say on Doc's it was Doc's content, but also Doc is a huge content creator. I'm not sure, but I agree with you that I hope it is your own.
So any like small streamer, like if the day ever comes that like the big like Twitch and YouTube are 50-50, it's like if you're a smaller streamer and you don't make YouTube videos, I probably wouldn't recommend YouTube. Because like you don't have that 24/7 aspect or that recommendation section under your own stream or something like that. So
yeah,
just something to remember.
I guess if you're a smaller streamer that is looking to grow, it's one thing to, if you're just trying to do this for hobby, it's fun as hell for you, just like the live aspect, do whatever the hell you want. More power to you. But if you're looking to grow and really try to start making some revenue or something like that, I think you need to have a YouTube. I think you need to have edited content out there. Something that lives on while you're not live. But that's a whole other thing. So I don't know the answer to that. I agree with you. You said barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Twitch has the highest barrier to entry for new streamers by far because of their pre-roll ads.
Yeah.
It's not even close. Because YouTube, I'm not sure if they play an ad before every single video now. On mobile, it's hit or miss for me. On desktop, sometimes I use ad block. I probably shouldn't. But also, I know if there's a pre-roll ad, usually it's 5 seconds, skip ad. Mm-hmm. Twitch, I'll be stuck for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
15 seconds.
Too long.
If you're just,
it should be 0, but yeah.
If you're just exploring a new streamer, if it's not somebody you know already that you follow and like, that's huge. A lot of the times I'm like, forget it, this is taking too long. Somebody else on my follow list is live. Mm-hmm. So that to me is one of the bigger barriers. I think we actually have talked about this before, and we came to some kind of realization that just as a business, they kind of, why would they stop that? Because if they only put it on partnered or even affiliate content, they'd lose out on a huge percentage of people in terms of ad revenue. And that is the main way that they make money. Yes, of course, overall, they want to grow their streaming community. But I really don't think they care much about the small creators. They could say they do all they want as like a happy, feeling lovey type thing, but they care about making revenue. They're a company. The pre-roll ads, generate the most revenue and will generate more revenue than most small streamers would ever make them otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a huge barrier to entry.
I totally agree. um, I'm trying to think of what I actually wanted to say. Yeah, so basically I think I can basically tell if I'm going to enjoy someone's stream within 10 to 20 seconds
Right.
of like their personality, their gameplay, whatever.
You tune in. If they don't talk, you tune out.
Yeah, exactly. to turn that into 40 to 50 seconds with a 30-second pre-roll ad is insane.
Yeah.
But like,
and it's every time. If you're
every
wanting
time.
to discover a new person, you could go, you probably start with a game, right? Or, you know, just chatting, or maybe it's their title that stands out to you. Whatever it is that stands out. You click on them, 30-second wait time, watch them for 5 seconds. Never mind. Let's try the next one. Holy shit, you gotta watch another ad. Okay, let's try the next. Forget it. I'm going to YouTube, personally, if there's nobody on that I follow at that point.
So I think there is a setting for creators to change that.
Really?
That there's a way to run an ad so that someone is like immune to ads for X amount of time. I would have to get back to you on this.
Okay.
But I think there's a thing for ads.
If it's not, well, clearly it's not on by default. So
Okay, here's the thing. I found it.
okay.
So as an affiliate, when you can earn monetization or whatever.
Right.
So they don't run pre-roll ads on non-affiliates.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You probably don't get
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an option that you have to keep your pre-roll ads on. You don't have that option to turn them off.
Okay.
But it's if you roll your own ad to all your viewers, if it's a 30-second ad break, you're awarded 10 minutes of pre-roll ad free. And if you run a minute and 30-second ad break, you get 30 minutes of pre-roll ad free. So basically, if you throw a minute and 30-second ad to your current viewers, then the next people who
it sounds like some kind of sick game. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, we're going to have a minute and 30-second ad break.
Bear with me.
So that the next people in the next 30 minutes who click on my video won't have a pre-roll.
So I will say that's one of the cooler things about Twitch is that I think a lot of the audience are much more just kind of in the know about how monetization works. And in general, I think they understand a lot more that ads are a thing that just kind of need to happen in order to provide this hours of otherwise free content. You don't have to subscribe, you know, like that's a great bonus. You don't have to send donations. That's a great bonus, and we appreciate that. But like I've seen some things where, for example, Hiko, right? We were talking about him earlier. Hiko does not run ads his entire stream, but at the end, he'll run, I don't know, a minute and a half, maybe more of ads. And he says, stick around if you can. I'd appreciate it. It does help support me. Please, you know, I'm going to run some ads. You know, please try to stick around. Mm-hmm. An incredible number of people stay to watch. Literally, they know there's no content coming. They watch just ads. Sometimes he'll host someone after that. And I've been on these hosting raids, and it warms your heart because he's playing Valorant. So he finds somebody in Valorant. This will usually be a much smaller streamer. He'll host them. You know, they get the big raid. It's very exciting for them. I've seen people cry. It's like this cool moment. And his chat comes in, and says run ads. His chat is asking to watch ads so that the person that Hiko rated makes money, because they know this person will probably never get this once in a streamer life opportunity, most likely again, and at least will make a bunch of revenue off of having that many eyes on an ad.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was just like the coolest thing, because I could never imagine. There were days in YouTube's past where people would get upset if you had a segment of your video saying, oh, and this video is brought to you by blah, blah, blah. And maybe it's because the internet is kind of maturing and people have been on it a while, so they're just understanding how this type of monetization works. But that to me was just amazing that they were like asking for advertisements. So I think they know about the pre-roll ads and can kind of bear with them, but still it's a pretty big barrier to entry for me.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way that they can end up putting it on the actual viewers of be like, hey, here's an incentive. If you watch 5 minutes of ads straight, you get 24 hours of ad immunity.
Ooh, that's an interesting concept. So it's almost like a paying for a premium, but it's by watching the advertisement content.
Yeah, and you'd have to do it every 24 hours or whatever. Like I would do that if I were gonna browse smaller streamers. Like that would be huge.
I would rather pay like $3 a month, but that's my personal choice.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do YouTube Premium for a reason. Like,
right.
It's to unlock like ad free everywhere.
Yeah, and the good thing about YouTube Premium, I believe, is that still, if you watch a creator, they will give them a percentage of money as if you were to have watched an ad for them. It's not just, oh, since there is no ad for you, this creator that you're watching the content of gets no kickback. They kind of understand that's how the creator makes their money. You wouldn't be watching this without the creator making that content. So since you pay for the premium, they have some kind of system worked out. Now, I don't know if the creator ends up making more or less from YouTube Premium people watching, but I do know that they have something baked in there for those cases. So if Twitch were to do something similar, I would hope for that as well.
Yeah, totally. I wouldn't want Twitch to just have a money grab method of just getting all that money.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think there's definitely, they should definitely put it more on the viewers than they should on the content creators, because there's nothing the content creator could do. Like, there's literally, you can't even turn them off. You can't do anything. It's just hindering you and you have no say.
Yeah. Yeah, but we come at it as knowing the life of that creator. If you look at it from the perspective of just consuming streams, then you won't want to be the one who takes the hit as well. Like, I don't know. If I was just a casual viewer, I don't think I'd like any of those options, right? Like, I don't know if I'd want to watch 5 minutes of ads before watching, no pre-rolls on stream. Like, I don't think I'd want to pay. If I'm just getting into this website, I think the YouTube model is pretty good. It's you go onto a video, it is an ad, but it's 5 seconds. That I can kind of deal with 5 seconds.
Yeah, I could do 5 seconds too.
I don't know. We got very into we got very into monetization. Super specific topic.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into a Discord submitted topic this week. However, we do save those all the time.
Yes.
We have a running list of them. We do appreciate it. And if you've made it this far, by God, you should be a part of the Discord community. Because if you've listened to us for over an hour and 15 minutes, hang out with us. Tell us what you think. Give us some more ideas. We listen.
And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and, comment down below. Like, you're here. You made it all the way here. Do something down there. I don't know.
This is us selling our souls out. This is the part where we try to monetize eventually.
Oh, yeah. And the sponsor of this is NordVPN.
No, it's not. They have not paid us yet. But 100 Thieves, you want to send me that merch? I will take it.
Accepting any gifts from any company ever out there, anything.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we will save the Discord submitted content for next week. Maybe we'll do 2 next week. Who really knows? But we thank you very much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. We thank you for any like, comment, subscribes, any action in the Discord. Really, just anything. Thank you.
Share it to your mom or family or whatnot, Like Hiko's mom is a huge supporter of
don't
him.
send it to my mom or Ryan's mom.
No.
But send it to your own moms.
Yeah.
Moms love us.
Yeah.
All right, we got to end this before we get into bad territory. Thanks for tuning in to Little Kings. Have a great one.